Hey, what's up everyone? Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye here, and I'm covering the headline of this video, even though you're probably reading the title. Nikon is coming out with their first, and pretty much the first, 4K line in the pretty much DSLR line of cameras for the main brands, not including Panasonic, but between Nikon and Canon, Nikon is going to put out a 4K camera. Or are they? Coming in Japan in just a short amount of time. Nikon said they're going to be really big moves, Nikon rumors, all that kind of stuff. Why I talk about this stuff, it's because this is my passion, this is what I enjoy, and if you don't have anything to talk about, then what the heck's the point? So Nikon is going, they're saying it's going to put 4K into their camera line, and it's going to start with the Nikon D70200 system. And I'm not joking. They are literally saying that it's going to be in their Nikon D70200 mirrorless camera, which that line has completely tanked. I'm not hating on it. It's just the market hates it. So that's not really the big point here, but the big point here would be the Nikon D7200. And you might be like, well, wait, aren't we at the 7100? That's the point. That's the announcement that's pretty much going to be made in just a little bit of time. So the Nikon D7200, they're going to say is 4K video. But what are we coming from? What's this transition that we're doing? So as I said, I'm going to cover the D7200 in this, and it's possible confirmed-ish specs because they've changed pretty much from December to January to now late February, and it's been like this a lot more solid. So what are you coming with? So the Nikon D7000, it's pretty old at this point. I owned it. It was great for video. Focusing was atrocious. 60 megapoints, totally fine. That's fine. 39, as I said, I don't even talk about the autofocusing. That was terrible. You got full HD video, 24 frames a second, even though, I prefer 30, but that was kind of innovative-ish at the time. The D7100 did a couple things differently. It really, really stepped up the technology and fixed the hunting, the issues that it had in regards to autofocusing with the D7000, 24 megapixels, which is pretty much now the standard, but it took off the optical low pass filter, which basically, removes a little film in front that gives you optimal sharpness, but, has a little bit of moiraying issues. The big thing was at the time was, okay, you're going to give us 60 frames video in full 1080p, video. And essentially what they did is they did give it 60 frames of video, but interlaced, so practically useless. So essentially 30 frames of video because you want progressive, because that's how the way it works. So that's where we are with the Nikon D7100. Popular selling camera. Fits really well. A little bit of a different layout than it had. But what about the Nikon D7200? So here it is. Here are the rumored and kind of confirmed specs. And essentially what they're calling this is the baby brother to the D750, which I'm not too happy about because there's a lot of things with the D750. Cosmetically, the body, it just feels horrible. The way that the tilty screen was, and cheaply how made it wasn't the right articulation. It's not a point-and-shoot camera at Nikon. And essentially, this is going to have a lot of the D750 features. And, they did make a lot of little fails with that camera. So I don't know why they wouldn't go back to like the 7100 build and kind of go that route. And with the articulation of like, the 5100, the 5000 series type of line, I'm not sure. So essentially 24 megapixels, perfect. It's going to be crop censored. D750 style body with tilting screen. Totally not a good choice, but it is a little lighter if you're looking for that. And if it really fits well in your hands, which a lot of people hate it, so keep that in mind. Still a little bit behind in the processing speed, but a little faster than the D7100. We'll see what the autofocusing system is, because with the 51 points, it looks like it's going to be very, very similar. Built-in Wi-Fi, standard 6 frames per second. Cool, okay. Okay, that's fine. And they're giving you the full 60 progressive frames for full 1080p video. Fantastic. So 4K, they didn't say what frame rates they're going to give that. So I'm going to guess you're probably going to get just your typical 24 unless they are very ambitious, which I don't know if Nikon will be, and go with 30 frames. But you do get 120 frames in regards to 720p. So you're still HD, you're still full HD, and you're just going to have way more control over either whatever specialized effect or slow motion. And now here's something that I don't know why that this is a big thing. It should be common like in Canon cameras, and that's to adjust the aperture during live view. That should have been figured out way long ago, not just on the full frame cameras, but, you know, in regards to that kind of line. So the D7200, here it is. There are the specs. Once again, this isn't official. This is still rumored, but it's coming up really, really quickly. So my thoughts, oh, and I read in kind of a press release, it was like this Russian thing or whatever, and it came out saying that Nikon is trying to compete or will release a camera to compete with the Canon 7D Mark II. Then what the heck is the point of this camera instead of it just being a rehashed 750 body with a lesser sensor and just throwing 4K in it? If this isn't the comparison to that camera, it's kind of baffling to me. What are you guys and girls' thoughts? Please write those down below. It'd be interesting to hear. Nikon has this thing where they just throw out bodies before it solves an issue or really, really does something. So without this being basically anything more than a 4K camera, do you really need it? Why didn't you just wait another month or 2 or 3 to compete with the 7D Mark II, which Canon is killing the market now with that camera? You just can't beat it. I actually went hands-on with it at a Best Buy the other day, and I was floored by it. I mean, it's amazing. So the D7200 just sounds like it's just going to be out there. So what are your thoughts? I gave you mine. Help me out here. Not sure what the logic is. If this isn't the camera that's supposed to be competing with Canon. So that's it. D7200, my thoughts, rumored specs, coming out soon, CP Plus in Japan. What are your thoughts? Write those down below. Request the Cup DIM.